You're not stuck because you're lazy. You're stuck because you're predictable. Your thoughts follow the same loops. Your actions follow the same patterns. Your environment reinforces the same identity. And the world? It rewards people who break patterns. Not loudly, not dramatically, but consistently. Because the most dangerous people you'll ever meet don't look dangerous at all. They don't chase motivation. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They operate on something far more subtle. Micro habits. Small actions, repeated daily. So simple they feel insignificant. Until they aren't. And once these habits lock in, you don't just improve, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. Because when people can't read you, they can't compete with you. Most people are controlled by comfort. You're about to learn how to be controlled by intention. The difference changes everything. Let's start with the first shift. The one that rewires how you wake up. Most people reach for their phone within seconds of opening their eyes. Notifications, messages, noise. Before their mind even wakes up, they hand control away. That's not harmless. That's programming. Because the first input of your day sets your mental baseline. And if that baseline is distraction, your entire day follows. Dangerous people don't start reactive. They start deliberate. A single micro habit. Delay your phone for 10 minutes. That's it. No scrolling, no checking, no reacting. Just sit, breathe, think. It sounds small. It isn't. Because in those 10 minutes, you remind your brain who's in charge. And once you win the first 10 minutes, you don't feel like a follower anymore. You feel like the one setting the pace. And that changes how you walk into the day. But here's where it gets deeper. Control in the morning is one thing. Control under pressure, that's where most people collapse. Someone disrespects you, a plan fails, something unexpected hits, and instantly, reaction, emotion first, thought later. That's normal. But normal isn't powerful. Here's the second micro habit. Pause before responding. Just 3 seconds. Not silence, not avoidance, control. Because in those 3 seconds, something shifts. You stop being a reactor and become a chooser. Most people never develop that gap. And because of that, their life is shaped by impulse. But when you pause, you become dangerous in conversations, in conflict, in opportunity. Because while others are predictable, you're calculated. And people feel that. But if you make my packing book work, you may be trusted in some way. They don't always understand it, but they respect it. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Control alone doesn't separate you. Execution does. And this is where most people fail quietly. They overestimate what they'll do and underestimate what they avoid. Big goals, big plans, no follow-through. Because the brain loves comfort more than ambition. So here's the third micro habit. Do one hard thing before noon. Not 10 things. 1. Something you've been avoiding. Something slightly uncomfortable. Something that moves your life forward. Because once you do that, you break resistance early. And resistance? That's the real enemy. Not lack of time. Not lack of talent. Resistance. When you beat it once, the rest of the day bends easier. And that's how momentum is built. Quietly, daily, without meeting motivation. But here's where most people sabotage themselves. They act, but they never observe. They move, but they never reflect. And without reflection, you repeat mistakes without realizing it. So, the fourth micro habit is simple. Audit your day for 5 minutes. At night. Ask yourself, what did I do right? What did I avoid? Where did I act weak? No journaling perfection. No long entries, just honesty. Because awareness creates adjustment, and adjustment creates growth. Without it, you stay busy, but unchanged. And that's the most dangerous trap of all. Now listen carefully. Because this next one is where identity shifts. Most people speak without awareness. They complain, they exaggerate, they say things they don't mean. And every word reinforces a version of themselves. Weak language builds a weak identity. So the fifth micro habit, remove one unnecessary complaint per day. Just one. Catch it, stop it, replace it. Instead of, this is annoying, you think, This is part of the process. Instead of I can't, you say, I'm figuring it out. This isn't positivity, it's precision. Because your brain listens to everything you say, and over time, it believes you. Change your language, you change your identity. And identity? That's what drives behavior long term. Now here's the shift most people avoid. Because it exposes them. You can't become dangerous if you're constantly consuming, scrolling, watching, absorbing. Information feels like progress. It isn't. It's comfort disguised as growth. So here's the sixth in micro habit. Create before you consume. Before you open social media, you produce something, a thought, a plan, a piece of work. All because creation forces clarity. Consumption creates noise. And the people who dominate, they produce more than they consume. Every single time. That's not talent, that's discipline. Now the final habit, and this one ties everything together. Because without it, everything else fades. Most people rely on feeling. They act when they're motivated. They stop when they're not. And because of that, their life is inconsistent. So, here's the seventh micro habit. Show up when you don't feel like it. Just once per day, one action, zero negotiation. Because this builds something deeper than motivation. It builds identity. The identity of someone who does things regardless of emotion. And once that identity locks in, you stop asking, do I feel like it? You start saying, this is what I do. That's the shift. From interest to standard. From trying to becoming. And when that happens, you don't need hype. You don't need external push. You become self-driven, quietly, consistently, dangerously, because now, your behavior isn't controlled by mood, it's controlled by identity. And that's rare. Most people never reach that level. They stay in cycles. Start, stop, repeat. But you're building something different. Not visible at first, not impressive immediately, but powerful over time. Because these habits don't shout, they compound. And one day, people will look at you and say, you changed. They won't see the mornings you delayed your phone, the pauses you took, the discomfort you lean into. They'll just see the result, the confidence, the control, the edge. And they'll think it happened overnight. It didn't. It happened in micro decisions, repeated daily, until you became someone they can't predict anymore. And that's what makes you dangerous. Not aggression, not noise, consistency, clarity. So now the question isn't whether these habits work. The question is, will you stay the same because it's easier? Or will you become harder to read, harder to stop, and impossible to ignore? Because once you choose this path, there's no going back to average. If this changed your perspective, subscribe, because the next video might change your life.